Our group have been studying competitive sports and we decided to share about the pressure of these competitive sports. My claim is that competitive sports put a lot of pressure on a child. As it might seem good, it is important to realize that pressure can discourage a kid from playing the sport and make them feel ashamed and mentally and physically break them. There are some people who claim that pressure can help a kid's future and help them make a good choice in peer pressure. Admittedly, pressure may improve the kid's effort in the sport. However, according to News Archie, many kids don't know what's going on. They might feel tired and burned out because of peer pressure. They don't think it's an option to train us.
Yeah, I agree with you that the pressure can break down the kids mentally and physically. My claim is kids may be great at their competitive sport, but it will cause them a lot of pressure and make it less fun, and the pressure will ruin the sport. My counterclaim is that there are some people think that the pressure is good for the kids and will help them later in the future, but it could just cause them stress and like break down, like being said.
My claim is people think pressure in competitive sports can help. My claim is, argue pressure from competitive sports can destroy kids' My claim is people think pressure in competitive sports can help the kids as they grow older. They say that pressure in competitive sports can teach life lessons and things that kids feel. Well, that's not all true because that some like pressure doesn't doesn't really set.
You make it harder. Your eyes.
My claim is that an issue that is not debated across the country is whether kids should play competitive sports or not. Many believe the pressure from sports can help kids manage in the future, but the negative risks that come from competitive sports are real. My counterclaim was a part of my claim, which was but the negative risk that comes from competitive sports worth it.
I agree with Timothy, and I take the position that competitive sports causes a lot of pressure on the player. Pressure isn't good for adults or kids. It's bad for their overall health because their stress level just goes up, and stress isn't good. And some parents around the world are taking it too harsh on their kids by yelling at them while a game /performance is on. And yeah, my counterclaim is that some people will say that pressure is good and it makes kids more compatible to stronger characteristics, but not all kids can handle the pressure and make pressure into a characteristic. Some kids are just going to break down from it. Evidence.
Evidence is that it is also the case that many parents like to yell at their kids for a little mistake that the kid has made in a competitive match. This can cause pressure since the kid has to fix the mistake or he or she will get in bigger trouble. According to an article written by L.B. Khan, in a competitive culture, a child is told that it isn't enough to be good. He must triumph over others. Success comes to be defined as victory, even though these are really two very different things. Without question, if a kid makes a mistake at an important moment, mostly everybody's gonna blame him or her for their loss at a competitive match. An anonymous user quoted, "Even monkeys fall off trees with years of practice." Just like the quote, people can make mistakes too, even when they practice for a long time.
Oh, okay. According to what we learn from sports, sportsmanship is declining. It used to be a central part of sports. No more. Taunting is it. Indeed, one of Fergus's Paul Charsnacki from Glenrock, Wyoming, doesn't think young people put any importance on sportsmanship. It's a virtue, he says, that has died out. Also, according to a case against competition is self-esteem as sugar. Is to self-esteem as sugar is to tea. Most people lose in most competitive encounters, and it's obvious why that causes self-doubt. But even winning doesn't build character; it just lets a child gloat temporarily. Studies have shown that feelings of self-worth have become become dependent on external sources of evaluation as a result of competition. Your value is defined by what you've done. Worse, you're a good person in proportion to the number of people you've beaten. Lastly, according to Kids Under Pressure, then it's not funny anymore, says Jim Thompson, Executive Director of the Positive Coaching Alliance, a national non-profit organization that provides training for youth sports administrators. Coaches and parents say, research is pretty clear that when kids are in a positive emotional environment, they learn a lot more. The major reason kids stop having fun in sports is that there is someone, often a dad, who makes life miserable for them. My evidence shows how the negative pressure of sports can affect kids. I agree that pressure can cause sportsmanships to decline, while another person can say that the positive pressure of sports is healthy for sports and it can help them later in the future. Sadly, that is not true. A lot of pressure shows that sports are very stressful, and stress is bad for your health and may cause problems in the future.
Some say the outcome of negative things in competitive sports can be positive. That is not at all true when it comes to pressure in competitive sports for kids. According to Empowering Parents, it says, recently I observed an 11-year-old child on TV who was at bat in a very intense Little League World Series game. He struck out before 10,000 screaming fans, ending the game and causing his team's elimination. The child broke down in tears. But people say pressure can help kids and learn life lessons. It can, but most of the time pressure can destroy kids' confidence and can even lead to depression from too much of it. For example, in the article McDowell reports, it states, and if a child has a parent who was or if a gifted athlete, that can lead to indirect pressure for the child. This means that some parents put even more pressure on their kids when they are playing a sport that involves a lot of pressure, right? Parents yell and scream at their kids to do what they want the kid to do, which makes the kid feel confused and pressured to do something.
In the article, Case Against Competition reveals what happened to Kyle, a 7-year-old boy. And it also reads, but at the very end of the show, someone in the audience asked him how he felt when he lost. Kyle lowered his head and a small voice amplified the shame. This is important because this is an example of what can happen to a kid who either feels pressure from parents or pressure from the game.
Kids are starting to lower their interest in sports due to kids getting competitive in their child's game/performance, which causes pressure to kids. In the article, parents' pressure could be lowering children's involvement in youth sports by ABC News. It states parents are getting increasingly competitive about showing their kids are number one in everything, and sports is just another example. Lindsay Powers, editorial director of Yahoo Entertainment, told ABC. This shows that parents are being too hard on the kids and putting too much pressure on them, which leads to them not wanting to do that specific sport, and kids figure they won't have to deal with anything anymore if they just quit that sport. Oh, and another example of pressure in sports has to do with coaches. Sometimes coaches can overdo their athletes with an unhealthy dose of stress, which can cause a loss of confidence. In the article, Why Pressure Causes Why Sports Kids Drop Out by Youth Sports Physiology, it states when parents and coaches pressure kids to excel, the young athletes may miss out on some of these benefits. Remember, most kids take part in athletics to have fun. Let them do that and they'll be more likely to feel confident and happy in sports. This proves that kids are most likely to be unconfident when coaches put too much pressure on them.
My personal experience was when I was at my friend's house and played my friend's cousin in a winter basketball match. He was about 3 or 4 years younger than me, and he was talking a lot of smack to try to get me to really mad and competitive, so I had to keep my pride. I felt like I was really pressured because if I lost, my friends would think I'm a fat basketball player, which I'm definitely not. So during the game, I was thinking to myself, what would happen if I lost, or what would happen if I won. So I pushed him out of my way and knocked down him.
How big was the hoop?
He was big, but he was really small. And the hoop was really small.
Okay, so in my evidence, I talked about like how sportsmanship is declining because of the pressure of sports. So in volleyball season, we all went at the end of the game to like high five each other, and our team won. So some of the kids they missed the high fives purposely. Yeah. And then in swimming, there's a lot of pressure to make the regional cut or state cut, and if you don't make it, you feel disappointed and stuff.
So when I first experienced pressure during a sport, it was during volleyball season. It was my first time ever playing on a sports team. I really liked volleyball, and my mom told me to try out so I know how it was. And I was like, okay, it won't be that bad. And then when it came to tryouts, I was really nervous and pressured because I was worried that I wouldn't make the team. But luckily I did. My first game though was when the real pressure started. Because there was this one in the beginning, our team wasn't doing too good, and it was because of me, because I kept making mistakes and everything, and I was just very pressured that we wouldn't win. And from that amount of pressure, I felt like quitting the volleyball team.
Well, from my personal experience, it was probably last year when I tried out for the soccer team, and it was really kind of hard and really pressuring me because it was kind of my first time trying out for a team, really kind of sports in general. So overall, I was really worried and it was really nerve-wracking on me. But at the end of the tryouts, I eventually found out I made a team, but it was really hard on me because it was so pressuring and kind of
My personal experience is somewhat similar to Timothy's. In 6th grade, both of my parents really wanted me to try out for soccer because in the past I've done soccer before and my dad is a huge soccer fan. And I felt really pressured because I knew if I didn't try out or if I didn't make it, my parents would be really disappointed, especially my dad. But I ended up trying out and I made it, but I was really scared and nervous. So that kind of did affect my tryout.
My claim is that it's clear that many competitive parents have to relax with their approach towards a child that plays a competitive sport. It may seem the parent is trying to help the child, yet it's ruining the child's confidence. A new style of approach may be telling the kid what they did good and what they have to improve on. We have to remember that if thoughts towards others may discourage them, which may break them down mentally and physically.
Okay, so my conclusion is there's so much pressure for kids between school and other out-of-school activities. They don't need to have more pressure from sports. Even though there's few positive pressure that can help kids later, that is only a miniature amount compared to the substantial amount that competitive sports can give.
In conclusion, this means that pressure from competitive sports can affect a kid's character. A kid's character is everything because it describes you. But from competitive sports, it changes that character to be negative because of how the kid feels. Also, with the kids feeling like this at such a young age, it's even worse because it affects their character as they grow older, turn out to be unconfident, sad, and terrible person. It's all caused by the pressure from competitive sports kid faces.
For me, in conclusion, pressure from competitive sports is not only for kids. Pressure enforced by the game and parents. It really doesn't help kids cope with it, but it really brings down their determination in the future. Not even just for sports, but for things in general. And this could lead to unhealthy effects to the child's health and their emotions.
In conclusion, I believe sports, especially competitive cause too much pressure generally on an athlete. Not everyone can take the pressure and make it beneficial, and this can also result into a loss of confidence. Thank you.
Awesome.